So boundaries. I think this is really important. Number four is boundaries.
Man,
So why are they important,
man,
Mark? Why are boundaries
yes.
important to help you improve your mindset?
Boundaries. Man, this is something that I learned um, when I was early in my career and I was having success um, for the first time. And I found myself working, I don't know, Steven, 80 hours, 90
Yeah,
hours a week sometimes.
I've been there when I
It
started
it
my
was
career.
out of control. It was out of control. I set zero boundaries. I would be on a presentation sometimes until 10 or 11 o'clock at
Yeah,
night, you know, sometimes later. I would be waking up at 6 a.m. to practice presentations with people because they had this going on, that going on. People would be on the phone with me for hours and hours and hours, distracting me from, what I was doing and, decreasing my productivity or taking away from other things in my life. And I didn't really have much of a personal life. You know, my my family was neglected, God was neglected, you know, everything was neglected outside of my work. And um, I just really didn't have any boundaries, so I had to learn to set them. But I mean, only after I felt like my health was getting worse. But it is important. It is vital to your success. I mean, you don't really experience it if you don't have a lot of success and whatever. Like it is what it is. You don't really know kind of like the dangers of that, and but as you grow and if you have aspirations to grow, it's important to set boundaries early, because as you grow, that only exacerbates the problem and exposes the issues that you haven't worked on when you were small. Um, that's for me. I mean, that's like day one. You gotta like, these are my work hours, these are my play hours, this is my time for family. You know, have a calendar, have a schedule. Do what you're doing while you're doing it. I'm relaxing right now. I'm not answering my phone. I'm gonna go to the pool. I'm gonna have a drink, and I'm gonna do something that I enjoy. My Fridays, I like to work on my creative stuff.
yeah,
So on
love it.
Fridays, I'm doing my creative stuff. That's my time. Unless it's vital, I'm not gonna take other calls. This is my time for that. Um, but
Yeah, I think it's important because
without that,
yeah, I think it's really important because me and you, we're doing multiple stuff. Obviously, I run the firm. I run Jeung Agency. You're helping me with that, and then you have your creative stuff that you're doing. Great job. I applaud you for doing that. I have my YouTube that I'm going hard at. I want to influence, inspire
yeah,
people, and give them some value and knowledge about travel, food, finance, and yeah, guys, definitely subscribe to the channel, like this video, and yeah, I think that's really important. I think that when you have so many things going on, like if you look at Elon Musk or Jack Dorsey from Twitter, I mean, how can you be a CEO of two companies at one time? That is like you have to be really good with your time, and like how these guys like hack time, and you see people these days actually have two jobs now. That's like the new things, having full-time jobs at the same time when the other employer doesn't even know because you're really good with managing your time. It's kind of crazy how you
yep,
could do that. These millennials, amazing what they're doing.
yeah,
I can,
it's
but yeah,
crazy.
but we're doing the same thing too. We're doing multiple things. We're running businesses, and so you have to kind of schedule that time. 'Cause if you don't schedule that time or protect that time gets, it's gonna, you're gonna lose that time to something else, and then you're gonna end up saying, and it's like little things compounding. It's like what's that book by Clear? Atomic Habits. Life is about habits.
Yes, yes, love that
About getting
book.
better every single day. That's one thing, like one little tidbit I'll say is about getting better every single day, being a better YouTuber, being a better editor, being a better salesman, being more knowledgeable, being a better husband, knowing the Bible a little bit better, or whatever wherever God, faith, whatever spirituality you worship, learning more coming from gratitude. But I think it's habits are the things that really are the things that are going to be create actions and habits for a long, long, long time is going to change your life and change your destiny. It's the habits, the things that you do on a daily basis that compound, that make significant impact um, to changing your life. It's not just doing something one time, one day. It's not like that. I had a lot of agents. Oh my God, I had a great day. I made $3,000, and then they think they could just do that, all the time, once a week for 4 times a month, and make $12,000. Doesn't work that way. You're gonna have those $3,000 days. You're gonna have those $0 days. You're gonna have a $1,500 day. You're gonna have a $16,000 day, which we had. Um, but those days don't happen unless you are out there consistently working and getting yourself out there. I think that's really important.
Yeah. I mean, Um, I've experienced the same thing. I mean, when I first started out, I mean, I had days where I was like, man, I just went out on a Saturday and I went out door knocking and, I made $2,000. Like, holy crap, it's like, but then I had days or days in a row where, nothing really happened at all. But having a positive mindset, putting all those things in place kept me, in the zone. And then also I created those boundaries where I wasn't gonna if my friends like, oh, let's go out drinking after my field time, after my call time. That I didn't I was very disciplined in that, and that's what kept me like when we did call rooms at your apartment in
Yeah,
Koreatown. I mean,
yeah, yeah. They
you
all
were
came
like,
over.
look,
You drove. Everyone
everyone come
drove an
here.
hour, hour and a
Yeah.
half. The traffic, street parking in Cape Town's a nightmare, as you know. It's not easy. You live
Yes.
in car, but we called as a one unit, and we all believed in something. We held each other accountable. That's the thing about the entrepreneur. I think is really, really difficult. Is that like when you own your own business or working from home, it's just like, oh, honey, you could do this. Honey, do that. It's like I'm working these hours. Like these are the hours that I work. Like, it's really easy to like be distracted. Homies be like, "Hey, let's go with so and so," and like it's so easy that you want to go with them. It's like, bro, got this table, whatever. We're gonna be hanging out and go to the game, and we got things set up. It's just come on, bro. It's gonna be fun. Like just move all your appointments or reschedule or whatever. Just cancel or no show. I'm like, no way, I don't do that. But yeah, you got whatever is planned. Like be your word. Be a professional. Be on time. Like that's some of the things that I've just learned.
Yeah.
I'm never late. It's not what I'm about, but I guess being an entrepreneur, like that's the ultimate disrespect is coming to someone's house or coming to a Zoom meeting, financial planning meeting, and you're late. You can never be late. You lose credibility the first minute and it's over. Someone I can count on for the next 30 years of my life who shows up to a meeting late. It's like going to a date late. I don't go to any date late. I would be early to dates always. Before my wife, I don't know if she'd be so flattered to hear this. I never go too late to a. She could attest that. None of the dates that I went with her, I was ever late. I'm always early. It's kind of like my dad. Always be
Same.
prepared, be
Yeah.
early. Traffic happens, things
Yeah.
happen. Don't try to thread the needle, guys. Never try to thread the
Oh
needle,
my
guys.
God.
Go 30 minutes
No.
early,
No.
and it's
Yeah.
okay, dude.
People want to just like skin it at the right time. Oh, I'm gonna get out of bed just 5 minutes before I have to, and then I'm gonna spend a little extra time. It's like, no, you gotta get your out of bed, and you gotta get in the shower, and you gotta do like and leave with enough time to allow for things to go wrong because things will go
Will go
wrong.
wrong.
I mean, that's just life. Like when in doubt, what's that saying? Anything that can go wrong will go
Murphy's
wrong.
law.
It's
Murphy's law. Yeah.
Murphy's Law. Yes. That is a very true statement, and I've experienced that in my life. Like planning productions, like you find one actor for a role, and then oh they have tonsillitis, or their cousins in town, or they're having a baby, and it's like you got to have a plan B, a plan C, and you got to give yourself enough time and enough grace to make things happen, so that you're not rushed, frustrated, getting upset at people. It's like if you've planted so many seeds and you've planted ahead, and you did all those things, you'll never find yourself in a situation where you're like, well, I can't get this thing done. Well, I guess I just should just not do this because so and so can't make it, or this can't happen. It's like you can never get caught in that situation. You have to have a plan in place, leave early, plan extra, have a plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, the whole alphabet, and be prepared for things to go wrong, people to be people. you know, that is what it is. But at the end of the day, this is your time that you're going to dedicate to that thing. That this is the amount of time and effort you're going to give into it, and let it be that. Let it be that.
For sure.
100%. I mean, that's so. Yeah, I mean, now a lot of people are like, well, how do I set that boundary, or when is the right time to kind of set the boundaries? Um, Stephen, what would you? I mean, I would say from the beginning. I mean, I think you, especially with a new relationship or a new career or anything, like you day one, you gotta like figure out what those boundaries are, and kind of start working
Yeah.
from there
I think,
outwards.
yeah, I think um, you have to prioritize your family and your faith because that's going to sustain you for the long run. I always talk to people and say, hey, how's your marriage? How's your walk with whatever if you're a man of God when I hired you? Because if you don't maintain those relationships, you being successful at your job and killing it, working 70, 80 hours and it this being your like life and neglecting your kids and your wife and your faith and whatever is important to you, your family, you're not going to be I'm going to end up losing you because his wife is going to divorce him or get separated and he's going to end up having to quit and I don't want that. When I bring people on, I want them to be with me for 15, 20, 30 years or rest of their life. So I always tell them that your family is important. And people are like, wow, like Chung Agency is not the most important thing in your life, dude. No, it's not. It's your faith, it's your family. Chung Agency is like number three, or four, but it's going to provide for tied to your church. It's going to help you take your family, put a roof over your head, and be able to take your family on trips. So you definitely need money, and I feel really good about helping people. I'm really excited that you care about that, but you need to make sure that you schedule time. And if you're going to be at your kid's recital or baseball game, you got to show up. You got to go to that. That's more important because later in life they're gonna go, "Oh my God, my dad never came to anything. He would always promise me, but he never kept his word. He would always say, you can never like not be your word with your kids because when you lose trust of your kids, it's very detrimental for them. And later in life,
Yeah.
they're gonna have trust issues. Like, no, I don't trust in men. Like my dad always told me he would do this for me, and I always waited and waited, and he never did it. Like, it's like you gotta be super consistent. Children are smart too. Like if you tell them something, they're gonna hold you to your word. They're gonna be like, you said. They're
Yeah.
not gonna stop.
As you
Relentless.
said.
You said you're gonna do this. You're gonna
Yeah.
say you're gonna do this. It's like it's kind of cool. It's like, yeah, be your word. You say you're gonna do that. You gotta go, dude. You shouldn't have said that. That's on you. You shouldn't have told her that you're gonna go. If I say I'm gonna drive up to for a recital, I have to drive up 7, 8 hours to make that happen. If I say it, because she's gonna expect it. My niece, who I love, and so I gotta be very cautious about what I say to people. So I'm about being your word. So it's better not to say anything than say something in the moment to make them happy and then later disappoint them. That's worse. You can't do
Way
that.
worse.
So, all right, guys, four things again. Four tips to improve your mindset. Number one is don't talk to yourself like that. Be positive, love yourself, words of affirmation. Number two is think abundantly. Don't come from scarcity mindset. Maybe cut some relationships. If that has to be, it is what it is. People with scarcity mindset are going to influence you in a really, really negative way. Number three, attitude of gratitude. Be real grateful. Look at your life and say, hey, what am I? I know there's three things that you should be grateful. Everyone should be grateful for three things in life. It might be harder for others, some other than others, but you can find three ways. And then boundaries. I think boundaries is really important too because it's like, hey, man, this is my time with my family. I get a lot of joy. Or I go to church. I feel fulfilled. I feel re-energized. Going into for the next week, I needed this Sunday, and don't work on a Sunday. Do that, or I think those are the three things. Don't talk to yourself that way. Affirmation. Think abundantly. attitude of gratitude and set clear boundaries. And you know what? Just do it. Don't say, I'm going to do this and this. I think there's a way to go about it. If you explain yourself to them and if they really care about you, they're going to understand. Especially like your boss. I don't know, maybe your boss might not understand. If you work for a publicly traded company, you might get fired or something. But me, it's like, I think anyone that works with us, like, I got to, like, people checking, like, can I go to, like, go on a vacation? Of course you can go on a vacation with your family. You don't need to ask me. Thank you for letting me know, though. Yeah, I appreciate that. But you own your own business. You're independent. You know, you don't work for me. You work for yourself. I'm here to help you. Mark's here to help you, here to coach you up and give you experience to be productive in this business. But at the end of the day, this is your business. And it's a great opportunity to work from home. Segue into our sponsor, jungagency.com. If you need wealth management, retirement services, life insurance, we're doing healthcare now, Mark. I'm really excited about that. Supplemental life insurance
Yes.
benefits, health benefits as well. So if you're in need of that, definitely check the link below, and you can learn a little bit more about our website and about our offerings. Guys, again, thanks again for joining this podcast. My name is Stephen Jeung. This is Mark Banks. Thank you so much, and consider subscribing, and we'll see you on the next one.